Welcome to the Hot and Healthy Show, conversations that change the way women work and live. I'm your host, Nicole van Hattem, holistic success coach, TEDx speaker and bestselling author, and it is my pleasure to introduce you to Leoni, who is a self-confessed serial entrepreneur. She has worked as a professional photographer for 14 years in what has been a very male-dominated industry, and Leoni has discovered her true passion is empowering women to feel amazing in their own skin and giving them the confidence to go out and achieve their goals and dreams. Our topic today is feminine-aligned branding. Welcome to the show, Leoni.
Oh, thank you for having me, Nicole.
It's a pleasure. And I keep saying this, but you really do have great hair.
Oh, so do you.
Thank you. So this must be also, this is very much aligned with my branding.
Same.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think it's very appropriate that we're having this conversation today. Why did you pick this topic? You've been doing photography for 14 years and it was predominantly wedding photography.
Yep.
And now you realise your passion is helping women to sort of step into branding alignment. Would that be correct?
Yeah, so I love working with women to empower them and to make them feel like they feel comfortable in their own skin. So yeah, I love just getting them to be able to achieve their goals and dreams by feeling good to start with.
Okay, so that was that an extension of what you discovered 14 years in wedding photography, that perhaps women aren't feeling great in their skins and they're not projecting the best version of themselves?
So I started doing boudoir and I now have an all-female boudoir studio. So we predominantly work with women and we see all types of women and all sorts of issues that they're dealing with and things that they need to overcome. So for a lot of people, it's the first step to overcoming body issues or issues that feeling not good enough, and everybody leaves feeling amazing and there's lots of happy tears. So it really made me feel like this is where I need to be and this is what I need to focus on.
So describe boudoir photography, because all sorts of things are going through my mind right now.
So boudoir is basically French for ladies' bedroom.
Oh.
So yes, we do a lot of lingerie, but we work with all the girls depending on how they're feeling and what they want to achieve. So some just want to do 3 different dresses and feel beautiful. Others really want to push the boundaries and do something that they've never done and something that they're going to walk away going, I can't believe I just did that today. So it's just about working with each individual and what they want to get out of the experience.
And so boudoir photography, is that one of the ways that you help women to feel more confident and more comfortable in their skin?
Absolutely.
Do you find that that helps them to then think about their brand in a more feminine way?
Yeah, so a lot of business ladies will come in and we'll do sort of like a business shoot to start with, dress them up and make it really glam, and then they kind of push themselves out of their comfort zone. So it's a bit of both.
Feeling like I might need a boudoir session with you.
Yes!
But I won't be sharing those in public. Just for us girls.
Just for us.
So what do you think are the current issues for women? Why are they not bringing their femininity into their business branding?
Obviously, females in business have dealt with a lot of male domination in the industry. Entrepreneurs are really coming out now. So it's even a school of thought in a lot of schools now that that's one of the avenues you can take when you come out of school. You don't just have to go to uni or get a trade. You can now become an entrepreneur. So I think a lot of women have dealt with that male-dominated space and seen that that's been working, and just sort of following what others have been doing without sort of finding their own authenticity.
You're right. I mean, the entrepreneurial space does give you complete freedom to decide who are you, how do you want to show up in the world, how do you want to represent yourself in your business. So there is that freedom around that. But there can also be a little bit of, you get a bit lost. So you're not sure if you should be the true you
That's
your
right.
business.
That's right. And I think sometimes you've got to find your own style being in business as well. I know myself, I had to find my own business style. So I had to turn down the punkiness a little bit. But I can still bring that edginess into every day, with, just little bits and pieces so that you still come across as a professional.
So what would be a couple of things that you see women regularly doing in their businesses as entrepreneurs or small business owners that shows a misalignment between who they are and how they present their brand?
Inconsistency to start with. Because we're on so many platforms on social media, our whole lives are online. So when you're projecting one thing for your business and another thing personally, or you've got this disjunction across the platforms, people see through that.
What's wrong with that? Because if you think about it in the corporate space, you put on a suit, you put on a face, you go to the office, you represent the brand that you're working for. And at home you can be a completely different person. So you might be in banking and finance at work, but at home you do yoga and make raw food.
Yeah. But you don't want people to think that you're being fake.
Okay. All right. So people have an expectation that your private life, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, your private life should align with your business brand.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a lot of pressure.
It is a lot of pressure.
Okay.
It is a lot of
And so how do you help women to sort of make sure there is that congruency between the private and the business side? Or what about if some women don't want to show their private side?
Yeah, so I guess you've got to draw the line of what you want your business to be about and how much it needs to be about you. Obviously, there's a lot of women out there now that are making a business around being a stay-at-home mum, and they might want to incorporate in their branding. They might want to incorporate the fact that they're mums and that's part of their brand. Others may want to keep that completely out. They don't want to show anything about their private life. They might not even put photos of their kids on Facebook. Right. So it's about being consistent across that as well.
And so what are some of the quick wins that women can take away from maybe this conversation to say, well, I can do that for myself, have a quick look at my business, these are the key areas I need to align a little bit closer, get some objective viewpoints on it. What would be some of the things that they could do immediately?
I think you just need to sit down and pick your brain a little bit, find out who you are, what it is that you want to project with your business brand, how much you want to show of your private life, your why. Really go into your why. Why are you doing this? Why are you passionate about it? Why do you want to show this to the world, and why should people work with you, and how does that fit in with your brand and your lifestyle?
And so you would look at things such as Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn profile, Twitter, the sorts of things you put on Twitter, your website, the blogs that you put out, the topics you talk about. Something that I've personally noticed, and I'd love your feedback on this, is that women are trying to be everything for everyone because they're afraid that they're going to miss out on business, and in the end they become blah.
Yes.
Everyone's got a Facebook group. Everyone's doing a blog. Everyone's talking about all the same issues in business.
Yes.
And then they don't stand out. They don't get noticed.
Yeah.
And they're spending all this time pumping out content, which is trying to talk to everyone within the same noise. How can their brand alignment help them to pop up and be noticed by their
So by being more authentic, you're going to attract your ideal client. So everybody's different. Everybody's skill sets are different. Everybody's personality is different. And by just being yourself, you then attract the people that are attracted to you.
Okay, so if you're someone who is perhaps not representing in your private life, there's a disconnect between who they are in their private life and what they're projecting in their business, what would you say to them?
Just have a look at how you want to be shown across the different platforms. You can keep business and private life separate, but you need to have a separate private, Facebook page for yourself, and then your more public pages for your audience.
Because nothing's really private anymore on social media.
No, that's exactly right.
And people are going to pick. I have to say, I do stalk people in a good way when I want to do business with them. I will check out their Facebook page.
Yeah.
So even if I've gone to their LinkedIn profile and I've connected with them there, if I'm starting a conversation with them and I'm going to be spending time with them and going to have some interaction with their brand, I will also look at their public social media profiles to see who I'm dealing with.
That's right. And you see their, whether they're hanging out with their families. You see what they're doing in their spare time and how they're spending their days. Unless they're putting everything as private and you can't see it, in which case you probably get the occasional public selfie or something like that, which is, I see that a lot too, where it's just selfies because that's the only thing that they put publicly.
Okay, and that's the way they project
That's
themselves.
the way they project themselves.
Fantastic. And so why do you think we've gotten so disconnected from who we are and how we show up in our brand?
It's again the imposter syndrome. It's copying other people, feeling like we're not good enough, and so just imitating what we're seeing around us, trying to imitate what other successes people have had, like the Facebook groups and that sort of thing. Like you said, there's so many now and they're all the same, and everybody's getting sick of it because it's just people jumping in and promoting each other, and everybody's copying everybody. So you need to stand out from the crowd.
And there are very positive and strong ways to do that, which from what you're suggesting is making sure there's an alignment in your branding. So how do you bring a little bit more femininity into your business, particularly if you're in maybe less of a playful, relaxed business and more of a serious business? How do you bring a feminine energy into that brand without looking like you're not taking your business seriously?
Yeah. Okay. So I think it comes down to composure a lot of the time, and how we hold ourselves and how we present ourselves to the world. You want to get out there and strut.
What if someone's an introvert and they really don't want to strut? They don't want to strut their stuff. You and I will be fine. Clearly.
Yes, we will be fine.
But what about if someone who's thinking, you know what, I'm new in business. I get it. I understand what Leoni's saying. I know that I should audit it to make sure there's an alignment, and this is all new to them.
Yeah.
How can they strut in a way that's a bit more aligned with who they are and their personality?
Yeah. So bring that connection into it. You can do it with your eyes. If you're getting your photos taken, making that connection with the camera, looking straight through the lens so that you've got that connection with your audience. Just being proud, standing tall, shoulders back, just being proud of who you are and what you've achieved.
So when you're, let's say, dealing with, we'll jump back to the photography because it's such a great foundation. 14 years of dealing with brides who really want to shine on their day, whatever their personality is. Was there some mental tricks or some ways that you got them to talk to themselves or think about themselves that helped them to stand up stronger and strut a little bit more in their own way to have that amazing confidence on the day?
It's all about talking to them and just connecting with them and making them feel comfortable and being able to bring that out in them. And obviously a professional knows how to do that. You work with people every day, and you learn to bring out each person's individual personality and make them shine.
And so that's what they need to be doing in their brands as well, because people buy from people they like.
That's
and
right.
that they know and that they trust, and then they're prepared to buy from them. So bring out that unique you-ness into your business.
That's right. Yeah.
So how do you help your clients? Do you do like a branding audit?
Yep. So we go through and just pick it all apart, pick their brains, find out who they are, what they want to project as. I always ask, what are 3 words that you want to be seen as? Because that'll give you a good insight into how they want to be projected to their audience. And just sort of pull it apart so that we can then find out how to project them authentically.
Great. And then so you've picked them apart, put them all out, and then do you have a look at their images to make sure their images align with the message they're trying to put out into the world across all the different platforms?
Absolutely. And it's good to have, we need to have a range of images too. We can't just have a static headshot. That doesn't tell our story. We need to have a range of images that do tell our story, and whether that's I do business in the coffee shop, meet my clients there, we have coffee, tell that story. I'm a mumpreneur, I do it around my kids, tell that story. Right. So you need to tell the story of your business as well as just having those static headshots that we put everywhere.
Okay, and so do you also help them with the content that they're putting out? So we've got what's their story, unpack, pick it apart, get clear on what's their message, who's their target audience, how they want to be seen, then making sure the images are consistent and congruent across all the platforms. What about the content that they're putting out into the world?
Yeah, so I like to work with them to build their bio as well, so that we're telling their story and not just saying, oh, well, I decided to start a business, because, you know, no one really wants to hear that. They want to hear why you're passionate about what you're doing and why they want to work with you.
Fantastic. Why did you start this business?
It was a flow on from where I was. Being a photographer, I actually majored in advertising. And being very male dominated, it was very hard to get into. I just kind of fell into weddings because it was where I was at in my life. My friends were getting married. Then I started doing newborns when they all started having babies. So I've been lucky that my career has flowed with where I'm at in my life. So after having kids and becoming a mum, I kind of felt like I was a little bit lost as a woman. And that's why I started doing the boudoir. And that's where I really found my flow.
Beautiful, beautiful. And now that you've had so many years now as a small business owner, and this is the next evolution of you as well.
Exactly.
How can I help women align their branding authentically and bring out the feminine in their branding?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, great. So what keeps you up at night?
Oh, there are so many things that keep me up at night.
Something you'd like to share with us?
Even myself, the imposter. The imposter eating away. You don't feel like you're good enough. You don't feel like, you know everything that you need to know. Feeling like that you're faking it. But there's a difference between faking it and impersonating someone that you're not.
Okay. And so how do you overcome that? What do you say to yourself?
It's a lot of mindset work, really. You need to just say, I am good enough. I do know what I'm doing. Even as a photographer, it took me probably 10 years before I felt like my portfolio was good enough, you know, and people actually wanted to work with me and people sought me out, as opposed to me, you know, getting out there amongst everybody else going, pick me, pick me, pick me.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's obviously something that you work with your clients with as well, to make sure that, you know, they overcome the imposter syndrome and they believe they're good enough because they are.
Yeah.
And then what gets you out of bed in the morning?
Oh, just everything I want to achieve in that day. Yeah, I'm always jumping out of bed. I'm always up by 5 o'clock. You know, I try and do a bit of a workout. I try and do a bit of mindset. I try and organise my day, and then just hit the ground running.
Fantastic, awesome. And so, if there was one thing that you could say to the people on the Hot and Healthy show, what would it be in terms of aligning and bringing their femininity into their business brand?
Just be authentic. Be yourself. It's sometimes not easy. We put the mask on and we do what we think people want to see. But at the end of the day, if you're being your authentic self, that's when you start attracting your ideal clients.
And it's easier.
And it's much easier. So much easier.
Not so much grabbing, it's just attraction.
Just find your flow and go with it. Because once you do find your flow, you start to find your tribe. They start to lift you up. You start to find some great collaborations. You find your alignment, and then you can just go with that.
Love it. And so how can people find out more about you?
Okay, so, well, you can check out my photography website, because that's got 14 years of my life on it. I had to stop blogging because I didn't have any more room. So, yeah.
Wow. That's a lot of blogging.
So that's leoniboltphotography.com.
Fantastic. And how can they find out? Is there somewhere else that they need to go in order to find out about the brand alignment work that you do for people?
Yep. So if you look up Leoni Bolt Confidence Creator on Facebook, that's where I'm doing a lot of that sort of work as well.
Fantastic. Awesome. Thank you so much for being a guest on the
Thank
show.
you for having me, Nicole.
It's been great. Not just because we have great hair, but because it's great content. And I really do encourage everybody to reach out to Leoni and make sure that you're bringing your authentic feminine energy into your personal brand, and that it's aligning across all the different platforms, and that you can relax and attract the right people into your tribe and into your business, and grow your business with less struggle and more feminine energy attraction. So do that today. Make sure you get in touch with Leoni. Thanks again.
Thank you.
If you like this episode, make sure you hit the subscribe button and go and check out all our other videos. I'll see you in the next one.